So I feel like making this video so you could come along with me and just see how I like doing my own back tests with oscillators depending on macro conditions. So right now it was just cool to come back in time and find my old drawings, you know, when I was trying to tell people that the macro uptrends might shift. This is my trend line that I had drawn on a daily time frame, 5-day time frame it was. Trying to see what I had going on, just showing that the RSI broke out, and I was looking for divergences at this point in time on the higher time frames from the week to the day. But I think I made a YouTube video. It was trash quality, but I think I made a YouTube video around this time about what I wanted to see structural wise for Bitcoin to be in a bull market officially on the higher time frames. But the reason why I was scrolling back is because I was on the daily time frame looking at the RSI, and I was looking for evidence that Bitcoin went from like extreme overbought to actually, like in this case, daily time frame, extreme overbought. Where were instances that Bitcoin just went absolutely down and broke to oversold on the RSI daily time frame? And it rarely happens. The only time I've seen it happen, actually go from extreme overbought to where it actually touches the 30 value, is a few times, and that's in the actual bear market. I haven't seen it in the bull market. So let's just scroll a little bit. Don't even worry about the price chart. I'm going to keep it zoomed out like that. I'm just focused on this RSI. And also I'm keeping in mind my Bollinger Bands. You know, I'm the Bollinger Bandit. These Bollinger Bands have just allowed me to outplay mostly anyone that calls themselves a serious day trader that I actually know who doesn't use the Bollinger Bands. Like, they never even know when to draw trend lines. I'm not even drawing trend lines if I don't see price pop out these bands. But anyway, let's just look at this RSI data real quick. Trying to see when the RSI went from extreme overbought to even just touching oversold at 30 value. It didn't touch right here. This was a good pullback. Price came outside the Bollinger Bands. And I'm just saying this, you know, a lot of people might not want to watch my videos because I'm not a big time YouTuber. I don't have fancy content or fancy editing with intros and outros and all that, but I'm not a content creator. I'm really just trying to gain followers because I want to live trade. I want to be a live trader and be able to broadcast live trading sessions on YouTube. You got to have 1,000 followers for that. So that's my goal. You know, that's why you don't see me selling anything. I do have, well, I can't even say have. I was blessed to be a BitUnex manager because somebody noticed me in the old Discord and they put me on. Another manager put me on. So I have the access to make anybody a BitUnex partner and give them large amounts of cashback USDT. But other than that, I don't have anything to sell you. Like, basically, if you trade on my team, I'll make it to where you get money back. Like, basically, I'll be paying you to trade, which I have a few people that took me out on that offer that are serious about trading, but it's not for everybody because not a lot of people even trade enough for that to even be cool. But for me, it's like gold. With that being said, I do technical analysis because my concept is buy red and sell green. Even when I'm scalping, even on the small time frames, I don't even want to scalp along unless I see some red. I don't want to sell a position or go short unless I see some green. Like, I'm just not doing it. And I have conditions for that. But when people start getting scared, you know, we're in a bull market right now. We're at price discovery. We're at the top. You know, price never goes down in a straight line, and there's actually a lot of moves to make a lot of bounce money. And, you know, you can make a living off bounce money. And I've talked about this before in past videos. And let's see right here. So let's just look at bounce money. And you know, when I'm trading, as I've always said, when I'm trading with large amounts and I'm going to enter the market heavy, I'm not going to just drop all my money in one spot. I'll DCA into a bounce, or I'll DCA into a swing. So this is March 24. This is when Bitcoin hit that top price discovery, and RSI daily time frame, extreme overbought. You can actually see, just follow my cursor, when the RSI just, you know, we went into a downtrend. It's in consolidation, but we're still in a downtrend. The RSI did not touch the 30 value and go into oversold. Let's scroll. So this is a huge consolidation phase. Let's say when the RSI got this low, you see rejection wicks out the band, the Bollinger Band right here at 57K where my cursor is. If you start this is almost a 20% drop. I just know how Bitcoin moves. I don't even have to measure it. Let me just measure it since we're here. Look, Bitcoin loves 20% corrections. It just loves it. Absolutely loves it. You'll see this time and time again. In our current consolidation, we've had like 15% drops. You know, if I was to fast forward to where we're at. But right, you know, just the history of Bitcoin, it likes 20% corrections. I always feel safe getting into the market, you know, with DCA. I'm not just going to DCA blindly. I still follow my trade conditions, but I'm like, it would, for Bitcoin just to absolutely drop more than 20%, we're talking about red lining down, 40% correction, 50% correction. That would take like some type of event. And that's not even how bear markets work. When you go from a bull to bear market, people like, oh, just drops down. Bitcoin will just immediately sell off, some extreme event, and then it never recovers. That's just not how it happens. So just like in 21, we had these huge double tops, but it wasn't like Bitcoin just went straight down and one red candle 50% and then went back up and double top. No, there was times to catch bounces, and this is the daily time frame is a higher time frame, but it's not as high as the weekly. So you actually have opportunities to catch good bounces when Bitcoin does correct. And this is a game of probabilities. Where were the key levels when Bitcoin corrected? So let's just zoom in right here. Bitcoin came to the lower regions of the RSI indicator. It didn't touch oversold right there. Let's go back to another time when we were in extreme overbought. Like right now, current price action, extreme overbought. Bitcoin's coming down. I don't believe Bitcoin is gonna just absolutely tear through the 30 value. Let's scroll back even further. Now this is a bull market. So I haven't seen in this bull market, you can see when the RSI comes high, not into overbought, it can dip into oversold. But when it's extreme overbought, it just never goes straight down and goes into oversold. Right here, zoom in, Bitcoin. Now, once again, this is an uptrend. This is the consolidation area that I made a video about, I'd say about 2 weeks ago, showing this consolidation phase where Bitcoin just never wanted to die. We just had this choppiness, and Bitcoin didn't want to go to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. It just stayed above the 20-period moving average, this yellow line. But this isn't about that. This is about Bitcoin correcting from extreme, here we go where my cursor is, extreme overbought. RSI goes down all the way down. It took this long with choppy consolidation. It did not want to touch oversold and go below the extreme 30 value of extreme oversold. It didn't even touch the 30 value. So in bull markets, I think the RSI just likes to act different. In this case right here, this was at the beginning of the bull run. Bitcoin at this point in time was not in, where my cursor is, Bitcoin was not in extreme. It went slightly above the overbought value at 80 or 70, I'm sorry, and it didn't touch. But right here, this is one occasion. It barely went into overbought, barely broke the 70 value, and then it shot down hard. It went to oversold. And we can see, even in this condition right here, we have rejection wicks on the outside the Bollinger Band, large rejection wicks. So if you would have dabbled right here, even in this situation of extreme oversold, let's see what this correction would have been. 20%, what do you know? Bitcoin loves 20%. But this wasn't extreme overbought. This was just barely tapping the 70 value on the RSI. Let's go to extreme overbought right here. Now this is the bull run right here. This is when price went from the 15K area and we started our uptrend, higher highs and higher lows. Bitcoin went to extreme overbought on the RSI, where my cursor is, this area. And it went, corrected down, the RSI corrected down, and it tapped oversold. This is the first instance where I see Bitcoin in a bull market environment, that it went from extreme overbought to extreme oversold. You can follow my cursor. So in a bull environment, it seems rare for Bitcoin to go from, pay attention to what I'm saying, extreme overbought on the daily time frame to extreme oversold. And on the weekly time frame, it's even more rare. I think I made a video about that, or I was talking about it in the chat, when the last time the weekly RSI, weekly stochastic reset, I was like, the weekly RSI in a bull market rarely goes below the 50 value. Like if it goes below the 50 value, it's going to bounce from there, at least the first time when you get a pullback. It's going to go maybe to 40, you know, and then it'll jump up. But right now we're focused on the daily time frame. Now in a bear market, it's different. It seems you might get those conditions. Let's see. So this was the second double top. This was the second double top of 21. Bitcoin just absolutely got demolished right here. Came all the way down to 30K. Came back up. It went into extreme overbought, and the RSI finally bottomed out into actually going into extreme oversold. This is long journey down, and you can see this is the key takeaway right here. And I made a video. I'm gonna zone in real quick. I did make this part of a long video before, like I think it was a 20-minute video I made a couple of months back, which that was all important data in that video, where I was showing people how to use the RSI, and I'll just use this time to recap. And like I tell people, the RSI is a trend indicator. It's not just for overbought and oversold. If you see on any time frame, and I challenge you to go back test this yourself, 15-minute time frame, daily, 4 hour, I don't care what time frame you're on. If you see the RSI go below 50 and it can't make it above 50, and it's bouncing and it's staying from 50 to 30 or 50 to extreme oversold, this is going to be a downtrend. So if you play in support resistances, you know, you're good at TA, you know what volume is, you have previous areas of support or key areas on the chart, order blocks, supply and demand, whatever you use. When you see this indicator trending below 50, Bitcoin goes to oversold, comes back up, can't get above 50, and this is going on for weeks or months, you're going to see the downtrend. So let's zoom out. So Bitcoin went from extreme overbought and it actually touched the 30. This is a bear market. So when Bitcoin came down, it just kept chopping below 50. And look at this trend. Look at Bitcoin's trend from this point. We'll choose this point because this is when it actually touched the oversold 30 value on the RSI downtrend. Then it came back up almost to overbought and price went sideways. You're chopping from oversold to almost overbought, going below the 50 value and above the 50 value. So let's go to RSI right here. I guess you could say that's extreme, almost extreme overbought. But once again, the RSI did not come down and even touch the 30 value of the RSI. All the way from extreme overbought, got close to the 30 value, but it didn't. And right here, this is an uptrend, so we're not going to go right there. But this is a spot where I bet you fear came in right here. Everybody saw this extreme overbought. Bitcoin evidently made a topping formation and it came down. This is a strong uptrend and didn't even barely go below 50. It went to like what, 45ish and popped back up. So when you see Bitcoin correcting and you have about a 20% drop, that's why you hear a lot of people say that. I just wanted to put a visual on it, on why I don't get scared to start DCAing. If I'm going heavy and I'm trying to catch a swing back up, or if I'm going short and I'm DCAing into a short, when the opposite parameters are met, I'm not scared to DCA into a trade. I'm not going to just follow all these weird YouTubers and social media people. They're not even good at TA. They just want to do TA for sake of content, or they're like these weirdos that are in Discords and Telegrams. They just want to be right. So they just copy, and they literally copy what they hear everybody else say. And they just hope that they're going to be right. And they can be like, my analysis was right. I gave you this. This is my little short rant now. When people saying I gave you this, bro, you never show your trades. I don't even care about how much dollar amount you trade with, what you got going on financially, but you never show your trades. Like, you won't show anything. You won't show your trades on the chart. There's no transparency. All you want to do is be some type of fake knowledge gatekeeper in whatever group you're in. And this is why I don't listen to those guys. Like, I'm going to go off my own research, my own time in the markets. So right now, Bitcoin is obviously on steroids, whether I agree with it or not. Like, I have volume, I'm always doing my own volume analysis. Like right now, this is the same volume analysis that was happening in March when Bitcoin had the ETF hype. Go look back at that. Volume went down as price went up. And that will call for a correction. I'm not saying I have a crystal ball. What if Bitcoin did die right now? I'm not going to catch the falling knife on Bitcoin dying. So if something's happening and we get to, let's just say, I'm expecting this correction because of the volume, just like I did in March when I started running shorts. Okay, so now we'll just get off the RSI TA stuff. I'm welcoming this to even go touch. I'm welcoming this to go touch 30 if it wants to. I'm welcoming it. The RSI is what I'm talking about, to go into extreme oversold below the 30 value on the RSI where my cursor is. It go down there, which I don't think it will, because we have this 91 area right here. And we have this order block right here, 91.88. So I'll drop money in there. 88 to 89 is where I think it will wick down to. That's my opinion. Okay, so if I started DCA, let's see. I just want to give people, because I've gave people roadmaps in advance of what I thought was going to happen. It might have took a month or two for that to happen. And then the people that were following me were scared to take the trades, to put their money down and even start DCAing into the trade when there was a clear analysis given. I understand it's your finances, but people always asking me, what will I do? For some reason, they believe I'm a good trader because I post my trades. They think I'm good at technical analysis because they'll, actually follow me. And I'm very thankful, because that's what I'm here for. But when I see people not taking the trades, I got to sit up out my bed now. Get serious. When I see people not taking the trades, I don't want to say it hurts my feelings, but it hurts my heart that these people have been psychologically fucked to the point that they're going to let this money pass them by and not even try. So let's say I have 20K, because these people that I'm helping trade, they're claiming that they have like 20K, 50K. They're saying that they have bags. I'm not scared to help people trade that have big bags. I actually like it better because I feel like their life isn't detrimental to this trade or this setup. I can help them change their money pretty much. I have high probability that I can help them. Nothing's guaranteed. But when they don't take these ultimate trade setups, they're scared to buy the red. They're scared to buy this obvious support and resistance area. They're scared to DCA, which when you're DCAing into trades with heavy money, the only reason you're DCAing is to help you mitigate risk. You're not dropping all your bag at one spot, watching it go down. Maybe it might not come back up and then you're just stuck. You're trapped. And the whole time that you're trapped, it might come back up. Most of the times it will over time, but that's your bag, bro. You can't even do nothing with it. You could sell for a loss and be like, okay, I'm going to start scalping and trading, whatever. But if you're in that position already, that means you obviously aren't good at trading. So you're just going to either sell for a loss or just be trapped there for the next couple of years. Like, let's say it was the top. I've seen whole discords, multiple discords, but one is a guy named Jax, investing in trading with Jax. I don't even say people's name, but this dude, I feel like he was a little bit advanced on technical analysis back in 21. I don't know how long he was in the market before that, but I think he must be a person who's a fast learner. and he can analyze coins. He knows some trading. He knows how to trade. But psychologically, he was weak. And what he would do, he would just DCA forever. He had people DCAing into Gala, Games, Matic, Cardano, like all the blue chips. I mean, he would just tell people to DCA, like just DCA. Like we're not actually DCAing into a swing trade. You know, there was no point to cut off your DCA where you would cut your losses. He would just tell them DCA. And these people, this was a huge Discord. This dude is probably making like 20 bands a month just off of his basic Discord fees because it was a huge Discord. I mean, thousands of members. And he's not worried. I mean, if you're making like $20,000 a month, DCA as much of that shit as you want. I mean, you're going to be rich anyway, you know. You're not worried. But, you know, I've seen people that their money, like literally all their money, they don't have any more money to trade with, you know, and that's their fault. I'm not blaming the guy Jax. I'm blaming them as traders, you know, but those are people, you know, you feel like they know what they're doing, and then they just get people like to follow them blindly. But anyway, I watched all those people. They still have not recovered their bags all the way, probably a lot of them, because some of these altcoins are still like Polygon, Cardano, Gala Games, and you know, I got the dude on a conversation because he'll actually like chat with guys like me and his moderators. He had another guy that was a moderator that ended up scamming people for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. But he would like tell people like he was close with in conversation, like just little like shady stuff about, you know, somebody would ask him like, hey, what about those guys that DCA into this? You know, they're stuck. They don't have no more money. What are they going to do? And he'd be like, well, it was their money. You know, nobody told them, you know, that this was, you know, a game of certainty or whatever. You know, to blow it off like that, he'll never be like, hey, guys, my bad. You know, I didn't even tell y'all. You know, stop DCAing. Like, I feel like if you're going to be that guy and you're going to tell people to take trades, even though you might put a disclaimer, not financial advice, but you just told them to buy here. And that's why you notice when I'm doing my technical analysis, I tell people, this is what I'm going to do, or this is what I am thinking about doing. And when I actually am doing my DCA roadmap, when my conditions hit, I am buying, and I'll show that I bought. You know, I bought those areas. You know, I'm not, but I won't tell you, hey, you buy there. You buy, you know, you need to follow my steps. This is what I say I'm going to do. Or let's say I was trying to help people get in the market that weren't in the market, like on my last video. I'm like, if you're not in the market and you believe this is a bull run, you know, when Bitcoin starts pulling back to key levels, this is where I would DCA at, you know, to get my money in the market for a bounce to go retest. And it happens all through March, you know, in the weekly time frame, when I told people to, you know, well, I don't want to say tell them, but I told them what I was waiting for, where the weekly order blocks were. You know, I thought the ones at the lower 40K might get hit, and it was very possible they could got hit if it wasn't for, you know, the Trump pump, for instance, which was needed. That's just part of the game. Fundamentals are part of the game. You got to watch the news. But I bought at 50K. I went real heavy at 50K, and I'm DCAing with leverage. So I got to be tight. So once again, let's just go back before I end this video. I don't know who's still with me, but I just wanted to give some knowledge about, you know, the people that aren't in my trading team. You know, why do I DCA into a swing trade? Okay, so when Bitcoin goes for, let's say, a 20% correction, and this is pure technical analysis. Like, I do pure TA because my TA will always align with whatever news. There's always a reason or always an excuse. You know, people are like, well, I'd have won this trade, or I would have won this, or I would have did that. If this didn't happen, this news came out, this, whatever. Just let me look at the chart. Like, even let's just say I didn't have access to fundamentals. All I have is my charts to trade on. I don't give a damn what the news was or what the anticipation was. I'm looking at volume. I'm looking at candles. I'm looking at key levels, whether I'm using order blocks or just good old support and resistance, like I showed how to draw in my previous short form video. You know, it's easy. I think that video is literally 1 minute, and I show you how to do that to find your key levels for day trading. You know, it's the same thing on the macro time frame. Anyway, 20% correction if we get it. And this is why I say if. 73K, as previous said, is a consolidation area, the top of a major consolidation area where Bitcoin was at for months before it finally broke out. So if I were going to wait to DCA from, let's say, the 88K level, 88, 89, that would be 20% DCA, the 20% area where I could drop money at. And if Bitcoin comes back up to even retest these highs at all, huge profits will be made. So let's say I took 10% of my bag, dropped it at 88K, took another 10% bag, put it right here at 85K. Or let's say I did 20% and 20%. Price doesn't bounce from this area, I could just kill my trade. Or price bounces a little bit, 90K, and let's just say 84K, what's that, 175? So what my average would be, I'd be at, let's say, 86K. If I dropped at these 2 points, my average would be about 86K, maybe 87, something like that. So the price bounces from this area. Once it clears 87K, I'm in profit. And let's say price starts to hit its head, I get scared. Let's say I just get scared as we come back into this key level or this consolidation. Whatever I'm using, oscillators, volume, whatever it may be, I want to kill my trade. I kill my trade, take my profits. That could be huge profits depending on what you're personally trading with and how much leverage. But 5x leverage and you're using thousands, no telling how many thousands each person's used. I mean, that's easy money to be made playing that bounce, for instance. If price comes all the way down to this consolidation area and you have 10 and 10 or 20 and 20 right here, you have 40% of your capital. Basically, you're going to double what you dropped in these areas right here when we come down to this consolidation phase. And you're like, this is going to be my last attempt. I'm going to cut it off right here. Price bounces, you come into profits. If price bounces, you can recover all the money you dropped right here plus be in profit. Or if it starts looking scary and you don't think you're going to make good profit and Bitcoin looks like it's just going to die and shoot down here, you know, you can kill your trades. You done mitigated a lot of risk by just laddering in your money and like that and having a specific area to cut off versus dropping all your money right up here at 88K. Let's say you have 20,000 bucks. You drop it all right here. Think about psychologically how scary that is, watching your money go. Even on spot, you don't want to watch your money just die. Or if you're on leverage, you know, you're risking liquidation once we get past, let's say 73K, you know, so having a specific swing in mind and some goals as far as what are you trying to achieve. Are you just going to try to play the bounces? You have a specific type of profit you want to make, or are we going to continue this bull run? I mean, my videos are to navigate the bull run at this point. As I put in my last video, if you use 3 points of contact, drawing a trend line right here, you know, I think it was on the weekly time frame when I drew this trend line, we are still in a positive upslope if Bitcoin came down and come to these areas. This is daily. Let's see, weekly, 3 points of contact, 1, 2, 3. We're still in an uptrend. So DCAing in this area, having a plan to this key area would be still an uptrend, and we haven't seen anything that says otherwise at this point in time. I mean, that's just what I do. In my opinion, what I think would happen when price comes down to this daily order block, and when I'm DCAing into a trade, let's say I have 20% of my bag and I dropped it right here at this order block, at this key area, and price just absolutely rips. Takes out the 99 to 100K right here. Takes out 106, 108. And we keep going. I'm happy. I didn't get to deploy all my money, but I'm at 5x leverage with thousands. And I mean, why wouldn't you be happy at that point in time? And you still have the opportunity to add to your trades. You know, I mean, just depending on what your trading style. But I mean, let's say you have 10K, 5x leverage. This is hypothetical. I don't know how much you're trading with, but I'm just going to go hypothetically. And we just come back up to test the previous highs. Let's just say 20% times 5x leverage, that's 100%. If you're using 10K, you just made 10K. You just doubled your money. What is there not to be happy about? But let's say you get 20K into the market between this point and let's just say this trend line right here. You get 20K in here. Price comes back up. Let's just say 40% move, just retesting the highs. And let's say your average buy was 80K. I mean, let's say you're at leverage, 1x, 2x, 3x leverage. You made exponential amounts of money. So when it comes to DCA into a trade, playing the key levels, waiting for a pullback, that's the whole point. You're waiting for a pullback to DCA with the specific trade in mind. So I'm gonna end the video with that. That's what my mind is when I'm making a roadmap and I'm going for a swing trade.